kutaschit.
Yachchittatoda kripayanidam vidam.
Yachchittatoda kripayanidam vidam.
Duranta dukkha prabhavan darshana.
Duranta dukkha prabhavam darshana.
Nayatra shoko najarana mrityur.
Nayatra shoko najarana mrityu.
Nati nachorve garite kutashe.
Nachir nachorve garite kutasche.
Chitta toda kripayanidam vidam.
Chittatoda kripayanidam vidam.
Duranta dukkha prabhavan darshana.
Duranta dukkha prabhavan darshana. Na, never. Yatra, there are. Shoka, bereavement. Na, nor. Jara, old age. Na, nor. Mrityu, death. Na, nor. Arti, pains. Na, nor. Cha, also. Udvega, anxiety. Vrite, save and accept. Kutaschit, sometimes. Yet, because of chit, consciousness. Da, therefore. Ada, compassion. Kripaya, out of heartfelt sympathy. Anidam vidam, of those who are ignorant of the process of devotional service. Duranta, unsurpassable. Dukkha, misery. Prabhava, repeated birth and death. Anudarshanat, by successive experience. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Vijaya. In that planet of Satyaloka, there is neither bereavement, nor old age, nor death. There is no pain of any kind, and therefore there are no anxieties, save that sometimes, due to consciousness, there is a feeling of compassion for those unaware of the process of devotional service, who are subjected to unsurpassable miseries in the material world. So this is Satyaloka, so there's no death.
Brahmaloka, right?
Yeah, he dies also, right? Everybody dies. Maybe it was a misprint, huh?
There is death or there's no death?
There's death.
Oh, Brahma
Even Raman died.
Here it says in such a local there is no death.
Yeah, well, there may be a misprint there or something. He said he wanted Hiranyakashipu wanted to be freed of death. He said, Raman said, even I died. Yeah, he dies too. Yeah. You know, foolish men of materialistic temperament do not take advantage of successive authoritative knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is authorized and is acquired not by experiment, but by authentic statements of the Vedic literatures explained by bona fide authorities. Simply by becoming an academic scholar, one cannot understand the Vedic statements. One has to approach the real authority who has received the Vedic knowledge by disciplic succession, as clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna affirmed that the system of knowledge, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita, was explained to the sun god, and the knowledge descended by distinct succession from the sun god to his son Manu, and from Manu to King Ikshvaku, the forefather of Lord Ramachandra. And thus the symptom of knowledge was explained down the line of great sages, one after another. What's the example? Yeah, the mango, the tree, the mango, they're handed down. Otherwise, if it just drops, It's finished, so hand it down. And then you get the nice mango. But in due course of time, the authorized succession was broken, and therefore, just to re-establish the true spirit of knowledge, the Lord again explained the same knowledge to Arjuna, who was a bona fide candidate for understanding due to his being a pure devotee of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita as it is, as it was. There's actually somebody wrote a book, Bhagavad Gita as it was. Bhagavad Gita as it was understood by Arjuna is also explained. 10, 12, 13. Which is
Not a Hamsa Vasya Prabhu, is it?
no, that's 10, 10, 10, 10. Tesam sarat yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Yeah, tesam vivanakam bharatam aham bhagyan nasya bhava so gyani dipena vasuputaha. But there are many foolish men who do not follow in the footsteps of Arjuna in understanding the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. They create instead their own interpretations, which are as foolish as they themselves, and therefore only help to put a stumbling block on the path of real understanding, misdirecting the innocent followers who are less intelligent or sudras. Prabhupada, I think in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada gives an example that the doctor, he's giving medicine, and the patient can't just go, well, I like the blue pills. Can you give me the blue pills? He just, doesn't take the medicine according to the doctor's instructions. Then how can he get help? So Krishna, he's giving the message by which we can become healthy again, but people interpret, and therefore they don't get the benefit. This is Bhagavad Gita. It's like medicine for the soul. If we properly follow the teachings, then we'll become spiritually healthy. It is said that one should become a Brahmana before one can understand the Vedic statements.
One should not become a Brahmana.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is said that one should become. It says that one should. Here it says one should.
Okay, no.
That's amazing. That's a big difference. What does yours say?
Should.
It is said that one should become a Brahmana before one can understand the Vedic statements.
That makes sense.
That's amazing. Yeah, that makes sense. And this stricture is as important as the stricture that no one shall become a lawyer who has not qualified himself as a graduate. You can't just become a lawyer. You got to qualify. You got to go through lawyer. You got to go through the bar exam, the whole thing, right? That's interesting. They really messed up there. The word's a big word. The not is a big word there.
Opposite.
Just opposite. Such a stricture is not an impediment on the path of progress for anyone and everyone, but it is necessary for an unqualified understanding of a particular science. Vedic knowledge is misinterpreted by those who are not qualified brahmanas. A qualified brahmana is one who has undergone strict training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Prabhupada would say that so many people that are translating, they're giving commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, but or he would say interpretation, right? They're giving an interpretation, false interpretation. I think Prabhupada was with the Beatles, and I think it was John said, "Well, you're also giving interpretation." Prabhupada said, "No, the explanation, different explanation, not interpretation." What's the difference? We look it up. What's the difference between interpretation? Explanation is given a clear understanding. Interpretation, I believe, it gives one's own understanding, not the actual understanding, right? Yeah. The Vedic wisdom guides us to understanding our relation with the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, and to acting accordingly, what's it say?
Interpretation gives the meaning or understanding of something differently. Different people may interpret the same thing differently. Explanation tells how or why something is the way it is. It aims to make something clear.
Yeah. The Vedic wisdom gives us or guides us to understanding our relation with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and to acting accordingly in order to achieve the desired result of returning home back to Godhead. But materialistic men do not understand this. They want to make a plan to become happy in a place where there is no happiness. It gets more interesting. Where there is no happiness, as Prabhupada said, wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. They're wishing, maybe I'll come back. For false happiness, they try to reach other planets, either by Vedic rituals or by spacecraft. But they should know for certain that any amount of materialistic adjustment for becoming happy in a place which is meant for distress cannot benefit the misguided man, because after all, the whole universe, with all its paraphernalia, will come to an end after a certain period. Prabhupada, I was just listening, Prabhupada said that material life is bad business. But spiritual life is good business. Material life is bad business because in their business transactions, there's so much suffering. And also at the end, can't take anything with you. Steve Jobs left his body, billionaire, couldn't take anything with him. Bad business. All that work, couldn't take anything with him. Bad business. But in spiritual life, whatever we do, just like now we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that goes in our spiritual bank account. Whatever we do in Krishna consciousness, it goes in our spiritual bank account, so we don't lose. Neha Bikramana Swasti Pratyavaya Vijaya Swapam Yashidharmasha Chayate Matva. Yeah. Whatever we do, it goes in our spiritual bank account. We never lose it. That's a good account. That's good business. You don't lose it. And it just increases and increases and increases. So, we're good businessmen. Then all plans of materialistic happiness will automatically come to an end. The intelligent person, therefore, makes plans to return home back to Godhead. Such an intelligent person surpasses all the pangs of material existence, like birth, death, disease, old age. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and I was showing her a picture of the souls going through the body died. And she said, well, yeah, it's natural. It's natural. But actually, it's not natural for the soul. You don't want to die. Right? She said, yeah, but I accept that it's going to happen. That's right. But you don't want to die. You're the soul. You don't die. She's never heard that before. No, there's something within me that doesn't die. But yeah, the soul doesn't die. You don't want to die. She said, well, I accept it. But you don't, right now, if I were to put a gun to your chest, and you would protest. You don't want to. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't want to die. So yeah, that's the nature of the soul. We don't die. Nothing. Yeah, was it that the soul cannot be destroyed by any weapon? Can't be destroyed by. Can't drown the soul. You can't burn the soul. Can't be destroyed. It's very powerful. Actually, the soul is very powerful. But because people are so absorbed in material life, that power is it's not there. Just like Prabhupada was so Krishna conscious. So many devotees are so Krishna conscious, and they got power. Like Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, you can see he's got some shakti, some power there, because the spiritual energy is coming out. You get this. You've been very powerful. He is actually happy because he has no anxieties of material existence. Well, that's interesting. He's actually happy because he has no anxieties of material existence. But as a compassionate sympathizer, he feels unhappiness for the suffering of materialistic men. And thus he occasionally comes before materialistic men to teach them the necessity of going back to Godhead. I was speaking to one person at Mountain View, and I was explaining that this knowledge will help you become very happy. He said, I'm happy. I'm happy. And then he asked, well, are you happy? I said, yeah, I'm happy. So what is the barometer? What measures happiness? It's a good question. How do we know exactly? I said, well, if you see someone suffering and you want to help them to be happy, that's a sign of happiness. You can accept that. But that's a sign of happiness, that you feel uncomfortable. You want to help someone who's suffering. Yeah. You want them to be happy too. Yeah. But that's a good question. What's the barometer? Actually, I think in the lecture devotion, if one is seen to always have a happy feeling, joyful feeling, he's happy. Mm-hmm. But now there's some materialistic people who it appears, like they're happy. They have a joyful countenance, that you kind of. But difference is that so-called happiness. It's so-called happiness. It's just material. Like someone eats an ice cream. Oh, better put, especially if it's hot, better put a big smile on their face. Mm-hmm. But it's just temporary material. Devotee was looking at a picture of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was very grave. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, you don't look very happy here. Prabhupada said that was a moment of ecstasy. Because that was the picture that went in his passport to take him to the West. So you can't always tell who's happy. Just like it is said that a blind person can see kindness. A blind person can see kindness. And a deaf person can hear kindness. Because it's not material. So happiness also, it's not material. It's actually spiritual. Material happiness comes and goes, as we've seen. Material, and it's not, therefore it's not real happiness. It comes and goes, so it's not real happiness. Real happiness, it continues and increases. This is real happiness, and that's in spiritual life. Material life, it's up and down. Sukha dukkha, just like we heard yesterday. And the man is so happy, and he just had a child, but the child becomes dukhi. Hello, dukhi. Isn't it? It's like it's very, very common that mother and father, they have a child that brings so much joy. I think you were telling me that the best time was when he was 3. It was just like so happy, so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then as they get older, things change. Yeah, become rebellious and so many things. Yeah, so many problems.
Mm.
We became rebellious also. Our father, Krishna, and now we're experiencing the misery of material existence. So now we're trying to connect again to Krishna and experience the spiritual happiness, real happiness. Now this last sentence is very interesting. All the bona fide acharyas preach this truth of returning home, back to Godhead, and warn men not to make a false plan for happiness in a place where happiness is only a myth. Prabhupada.
Wow.
He hit the point. Yeah, it's a myth. It appears like it's happiness. It looks like it's happiness, but it's a myth.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not real happiness. Yeah.
Mm.
Real happiness, yonta sukhotarara, tatantir joyta. Yeah. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward. This person is actually happy, liberated.
Mm.
So this is the real happiness. And by this process of Krishna consciousness, we're experiencing so many devotees are so happy. Yeah. So generally, lectures aren't very, so people don't look forward to lectures usually because they're usually boring.
Mm-hmm.
But devotees give lectures just like, again, Gauranga Darshan's giving these, so joyful just listening. Yeah. And Vaiseshika Maharaj, there's so many nice devotees. They give lectures that are inspiring, that are funny, and because they're talking about spiritual things, talking about Krishna. They're very attractive. So this is Krishna. He's all attractive, and therefore it's real. By connecting with Krishna, it's real happiness. But the material world, it's not a nice place. Yeah. Just like we have our senses are pulling it this way and that way, and it causes anxiety. Yeah. Prabhupada gives the example of different types of animals, like the deer.
Mm.
He hears the flute playing, and it's very attractive. And he's attracted. He goes, but then what happens?
It's shot.
He gets shot. Yeah. And the bee goes and is to the flower. It smells very nice. They're attracted to the sweetness, and they go in the flower. And then what happens? It closes, and then death. And it's an amazing example Prabhupada gives of the elephant. The way the elephant is caught is they have an attractive elephant, overweight, and the male elephant sees this female elephant. Oh, she's looking pretty good there. I don't know. I guess they all look the same though. Yeah.
They don't know what?
They all look the same. It's a female.
To us, they look the same.
To us, they look the same. So he sees this attractive looking female and he starts going, but they got a pit. And the elephant, that's how they catch him. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, how do they get him out of there? It's like, oh, yeah. So, and how do they train the girl to, stand in front of this pit? I mean, that must be a pretty big trip too. Just, train, all right, just stand right here. Yeah. And they got to get the male, at the right time. How long she got to wait? But this is the analogy. So then the male goes and he gets caught. Yeah, attracted to the female.
Ooh.
And taste the fish. Yeah, it's attracted to the bait, to the worm. It's very attractive. Nice meal there, and then he gets caught by the hook. And Prabhupada was saying, but so these are different
Eyes.
Oh yeah, the eyes is the insect or the fly or something. It's
Moth.
attracted. The moth is attracted to the fire.
Mm.
It's very attractive. I mean, even sometimes we'd go on Sankirtan, we'd have a fire there. This is very attractive. The flames flying up. It's actually very attractive. But the moth is so attractive, it just flies right into it.
Mm.
So these are different insects and different animals that are attracted to different things, and because they're attracted, they lose their life. But in the human form, all of our senses are attracted to different things. We want to hear beautiful music or attractive music. Sometimes it's terrible music. Yeah. And then our eyes were attracted to the opposite sex. That's the main attraction in the material world. Boy to girl, girl to boy. There's that attraction, the main attraction. Like they have the movies, the main attraction. So this is the main attraction in the material world. And it causes so much suffering. Krishna says that of all types of suffering and bondage that arise due to material contact, none is greater than the suffering one experiences in the association of the opposite sex, men for women, women for men. This is the main attraction and the main cause of suffering also. Yeah. And then the tongue. Yeah. Major problem in America, obesity. Boy, this is, people just can't control their tongues. I was on book distribution, there was this bakery there, and they had these really good looking cakes, and these two very overweight ladies, they were looking at them, and if you could eat with it, they can't eat with their eyes, but they sure wish they could. They look so good, and all they can do is look at it because they know. So, and people become so obese, it ruins their life, causes early death sometimes. Yeah. So you have to control the senses. So important. And therefore it's said that one who is able to control the urge to speak, the mind's demands, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Yeah. So to control the senses is so important. Of course, Krishna's given us, Prabhupada's given us nice prasadam. Prabhupada said the prasadam should be very nice because that's our only sense gratification. So, pleasing to the senses. We have nice music. There's so many nice musicians now. You could hear the holy name, Krishna. We have our sadhu sangha, hearing so many nice kirtans. And we can see the beautiful form of the deities. Gaunitai, Vishirada Madam, Madan Mohan. devotees also. So Prabhupada said, as we continue on in Krishna consciousness, our spiritual body is growing. Imperceptibly, it's growing. Bhagavatam gives the example, just like when we're eating, we don't know how all the vitamins and all the minerals and everything is being distributed throughout the body for our benefit. It's imperceptible. Even doctors can't understand. The body itself is like I cut myself some time ago, but as soon as you cut yourself, it starts to heal. It's like amazing, imperceptible. It's like we have cars. If you imagine you had a car and you got in a wreck and immediately it starts healing itself. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, right?
So many accidents there.
Oh yeah, these people that do they fix cars. They'd be out of business. They like it when there's a wrecks. They look forward to it. You gotta fix them up. So imperceptibly, our spiritual body is growing. We have our spiritual mind. We have spiritual ears. We only want to hear things in relation to Krishna. We only want to see things in relation to Krishna. We only want to taste things in relation to Krishna. This means our spiritual body is growing. I want to be nice to have a spiritual mind. Not this. Prabhupada says in one purport that a devotee, he wants that his material mind to be killed. Kill the materialistic mind. Because it's such a problem. So what we're doing is our spiritual mind is growing more and more as we practice Krishna consciousness. And eventually we have a full spiritual body. Something to look forward to. So yeah, those are some thoughts. Yeah.
It's mentioned that there's no suffering, but there's that little pinch of suffering out of compassion. Is that also there in the spiritual world? There's no suffering. It's like kunta, but if there's any anxiety, you could say it's just a speck of anxiety for the conditioned souls.
In the spiritual world, I mean, I don't even know if they're aware.
Let's say Krishna.
So Krishna is. Well, Krishna's aware. Krishna he comes to help us.
Krishna has a speck of anxiety for.
Yeah, therefore he comes. Probably more than a speck. Yeah. Prabhupada said that Krishna, he's suffering because he sees the suffering of the living, just like a father. He gave the example, just like a father sees his son suffering. It gives pain. So Krishna, he's the best father. So he comes to help us. Yeah. So yeah, this is a very interesting verse here that a devotee is very compassionate. There's a verse, Artim Papadya Deha Bhajam Antastito Yena Bhavantu Dukkaha. That there was a devotee who was I think it was Runti Dev. He was fasting. I think it was 48 days. This was another age where they could fast for a long time. Ambarish, he fasted for how long? A year. Waited for Durvasa to come back. Just waiting patiently. That's patience. And then they came and they paid a base. They said, all right, let's take prasad. So Ranti Dev, he and his family had fasted for 48 days, and he was getting ready to take prasad, and then a Chandala came in. Said, oh, Maharaj, I'm hungry, please can you feed me? Yes, gave half. And then some brahmanas came in. Oh, Maharaj, we're hungry, please can you feed us? He gave some more. And then some dogs came in. I think there was just some water left or something. Maharaj, my dogs are thirsty, and gave the water. And then he chanted this Artin Papade Kila Deha Bhaja Antasti Tavyena Bhavanti Dukkha. He said, I do not want the 8 mystic perfections. I don't want liberation. All I want is to be out amongst all living entities, suffering all types of inconvenience so that they can be free of their suffering. That's deep. That's a Sankirtan verse. That's deep. I mean, just see the compassion. I don't want liberation. I don't want the 8 mystic perfections. I just want to be out suffering all types of inconvenience to help relieve the suffering people of their suffering. As Vijaya Swami says, being comfortable in the uncomfortable. Just like we go on book distribution, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't. I mean, there used to be times. I mean, it used to be pretty heavy. Boys, you get hit. I got hit one time. I'm big on here. Hey, man, what do that for? The time a guy came, pushed me, because it was heavy. We were, devotees didn't have a good reputation. Like I was distributing books in LAX one time, and I was talking to one businessman. He said, "Oh, you're a Hare Krishna?" I said, "Yeah, Hare Krishna." He said, "You guys used to be bad people." I said, "Yeah, we've matured sometime. Over time, we've matured." But yeah, and devotees used to get in fights. Yeah, because we're not experienced. We didn't know how to deal with people. No, there was no training. Unfortunately, so we made a lot of mistakes. So yeah, now we've learned a lot from our mistakes, and now people are liking us much more. So, but compassion it's a rare quality in the material world, because icha dvesa samudvena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutanti samo sargayanti parantapa. That all living entities are born into this world bewildered by the dualities arising from desire and hate. We're born in this world with hate. Yeah? So to have compassion, that's pretty rare. So fortunately, Prabhupada came and showed us compassion. Like that amazing pastime of one devotee. This is back in '66, and he was visiting the temple, and he couldn't surrender. And Prabhupada just compassion. He's just pleading with him, please surrender to Krishna. Practically in tears, surrender to Krishna. And he didn't. But then later he surrendered. Prabhupada does. Yeah. He's a Swami now. But he was struggling with his mind, and he couldn't do it. But then eventually, the compassion of Srila Prabhupada conquered it. So, yeah, something that we can pray for. Compassion. And man proposes, God disposes. So if we pray, of course, imagine how pleased Krishna is if we pray for compassion, because it's something you don't very often see in conditioned souls. So he's very happy. And not only if we pray for that, if we actually do it, we go out and try to help the conditioned souls. Yeah, this knowledge is what is most needed. One person, I think it was just yesterday, he said, so why you're out here? I said, well, the biggest need in society now is wisdom. I said, yeah. He said, I teach my children boredom, and what is it? How to deal with boredom, and what was the other word he said? It was very nice. Again, It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's very, very nice. Very nice. He took books. And yeah, I told him, yeah, we're also learning how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. To go out, it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, sometimes, there's a lot of no's, a lot of rejection, so it's not easy. But we're doing that because there's some compassion. And the words have come. Anyway, anything else? Any question from the internet? Or any, yeah. He was a very nice man. I wish there's more fathers like that. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
go.
Oh,
Please.
yeah, nice class.